Well, good morning, Jackie. How are you?
Good morning, Richard. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm sorry you're a little under the weather. We talked about that off air, but seems like you're
I'm
a trooper.
here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
you're a
We're
trooper. You want
rolling.
to go
Yeah,
through this, right? In true
exactly.
founder, CEO, entrepreneur manner, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna lock in and get it done, right?
100%. I'm here, ready to go.
So, folks, joining us is the delightful, and I know she's delightful because I've already talked to her a couple of times, but the delightful Jackie Zuckerman Delory. And I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, so excited to be here. I love what you're doing for entrepreneurs, and I'm excited to support and educate your audience. So thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Founder and CEO of Next On Scene Media, which we're going to talk a lot about, of course. We've got a few things in common right off the bat. You have your own podcasting that you've done. I was reading, your bios, and of course, we had some great conversations about how you kind of launched this in your guest room closet, which I think is outstanding. I think I did something similar where I was in my attic at first, but then I moved it to my office and now, these different places. You do all this work in storytelling, media, being very visible. Has this started early, Jackie? Were you always an entrepreneur? Were you like the lemonade in the front yard kind of person? Like did this evolve over time? I guess your desire for
No, it's a
entrepreneurship.
it's a great question, Richard. So my brother owns a DJ company in New York, and he helped raise me since I was really little. And since
Mm,
I was 13, I was passing out his business cards in the school hallways. So I think the entrepreneurial blood was in me from a very young
yeah.
age.
And the promotions, right?
Totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. And, from that, you kind of im always knew, I guess, that Jackie, that you were gonna kinda blaze your own trail, saw yourself as an entrepreneur. Um, is this something that you built from scratch? I really wanna understand the vision behind Next on Scene.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
100% built from scratch was
Mm,
not in my plan though. Like
right.
I did
Okay.
not know from a young age that I wanted my own business. I was
Okay.
just observing, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
think from a
Yeah.
young age, like the entertainment world seemed exciting
Mhm.
because I was surrounded by it so
Yeah.
young. But I really it really didn't start on my own until I moved to Boston from New York. So I'm a New
Okay.
Yorker first,
Yeah.
and I've been in Boston now since 2014. So
Wow. But people usually go the other way, right? They
I
go from
know.
Boston to New York. Was there something specific that drove you from New York to Boston?
Totally. So I had a long distance relationship,
Ah,
and my company I worked for closed, and it
okay.
was the perfect time to take a leap of faith and just go for it. So,
Nice. Nice. And in the realm of the podcast, what were some of the kinda topics and things that you were tackling?
hmm. So, I mean, I know you love this world, like
Yeah,
startups, like
yeah.
100% startups. Like
Startups?
I really got connected in the celebrity realm at a very young age, like with them
Mm,
doing entrepreneurial ventures and new things they were launching or events they
very
were doing.
cool.
So I really started early
Mm,
on doing those sort of projects and
yeah.
interviews.
Very cool. And at what point, if there was an inflection point, Jackie, did you start to realize like, "Okay, this is bigger than just like a podcast in my closet?" Like, when did that
Yeah.
did you see that early, or was that something that kinda you had
So
to realize that this was gonna be bigger?
it's a two-folded question, right? Because
Mm,
entrepreneurship is hard, and this is where I love to share honesty. Like, you can't have a business as just a podcast when you were starting. Like, you need a
yeah.
foundation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that
Yes.
was the first thing. I left my job at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna take a leap of
Mm,
faith and do this. And this was like 2014 before podcasting was even a thing.
didn't
You know
think.
what I'm
Yeah, right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I ended up getting a part-time job while building my podcast. I worked for the Chamber of Commerce, and that
Mhm.
was such a social bubbly thing that I
Yeah.
really got more experience of how to really build a business with people
Mm,
that own their own businesses. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I think it started there, and then the people got a lot of traction from that, and they're like, "Well, what else can you do? We're getting attention from the show, like, could you help us with social media? You know, do you do any other media placements?" And that's really what funneled into the rest of my business model.
That's great. One of the things I like about what you're doing is, you have to have your own personal brand as a result of what you're also doing with Next On Scene. And do you can is it easy for you to separate those two things, Jackie, between your personal brand and Next On Scene's brand? Because I'm interested, like, how do you build those simultaneously? Because neither one is easy to do. Like, I see a lot of people who are trying to build personal brand, but maybe translate that into a business. Um, how have you approached that?
So this is a great question because
Yeah.
I'm actually at this integral point in my life now where like I've always built my personal brand, but
Yeah.
now my business is growing, like my media business is growing. So I
Right.
want to put more love into my personal brand. They
Sure.
absolutely have to be separate things. They
Yeah.
do. Like I'm so agree with you there. Like
Mm.
because your business entity isn't always what like it might not be aligned with you in 5 years from now. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
True.
saying? Like it might just
True.
be a
Yes.
part of you.
Of you.
This is
Right.
what I teach people all the time in my consulting. I'm like, you need your personal brand because your personal brand is gonna go with you no matter what you change or
Mm.
transition in your life,
Mm.
but your business is gonna still be your business. So,
Yeah.
does that
Yeah.
answer the question?
It does. It does.
Okay.
The other thing I'm interested in your thoughts on is, and I see this in my own world, a lot of founders, look, they love their thing and they're super passionate about their thing, but they struggle to effectively tell a story, right? And I know that's a lot of what you do. Do you have an idea as to why that's the case? Is it because they're too close to it, or why can't they tell their story effectively? It's good for you, obviously, but where where do they
No, no,
where do
for
they
sure.
fall?
I think you
Yeah.
first hit it on the head when you said they feel too close to it.
Mm,
So they're thinking of it from first person rather than what is the audience gonna digest from it, you know? So
mm,
I love brainstorming, and I think it's important to, like, see your bullet points of, like, what customers are actually buying what I'm doing. Like, how do they
mm.
resonate with my messaging? What are they engaging with the most of what I talk about, right? So
Right.
I think that's really important to think about when you are sharing your message to the world because
Yeah.
what you think you like about yourself might not resonate with everyone. You
Right.
know, it's almost the
Right.
things you never talk about that people wanna hear,
Mm,
you
mm.
know?
I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think entrepreneurs lose that, right? They lose that because maybe they're trying to stand out in a certain way, to your point, and
Right,
they lose themselves in that, or they do think that their brand, their personal brand, and their business are intricately locked forever and ever, maybe, right? So that's a challenge as well. But you help them kind of funnel and direction, right, and provide direction to that, so it's not just noise, right? It's
correct.
real visibility. Is there a you mentioned the bullet pointing and the brainstorming. Are there other kind of techniques you use with your clients as well?
Yeah, so I have like a
Yeah.
360 visibility
Oh,
process
cool.
I use with clients. I literally call it the 360 visibility like center.
I love it.
So we look at like your visuals, your video
Mm,
content, your photos, like any website messaging that you have, your social media content. How is it being perceived by the world, right? And
mm,
do your pictures actually reflect who you are now? So many
mm.
people come to me, they have outdated photos. They have videos that they don't feel confident talking in. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
who are you today, and are these things depicting who you are today? That's
Yeah.
really important, and people kind of overlook that, and I know it's an investment, it is, but, like, the tenfold of that investment long term gets more media opportunities, gets you on speaking stages and podcasts and all those things,
Mhm.
and this is what I try to educate people, so we go through that whole process with them.
Outstanding. I was on a website just this week of a startup that I was previously involved in, and I was just like, "Hey, what have they been up to?" And I went to their website, and I went to their blog posts, and they haven't blogged since 2024, right? And I'm saying to myself, like, "Guys, don't even have the blog there anymore,"
100%
right?
agree with you.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you have to either commit to this or not commit to this, right?
Right.
Absolutely. And blogging is just one thing. So this is the blueprint process, right,
Correct.
Jackie, that we're talking
Correct.
about. This is the sort
Correct.
of blueprints by Jaclyn, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
You
this.
know your stuff, Richard, I love it. Perfect.
And, in terms of, like, sort of the emotional aspect of this, you mentioned, like, oh, they might not have good photos, or they have outdated things, or how do you help them kinda connect the emotional aspect to this as well, I guess?
So I believe in doing a lot of internal work
Mm,
before you become more visible because
mm.
there's a lot of judgment around
Yeah,
visibility.
and maybe
Uh,
that's why I haven't updated my photos, because I like that photo from 10 years ago, so I won't update it,
It's so
right?
real though. It's so
Yeah.
real. Like you're not alone in that at all. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
truly feel like I'm also spiritual. So I love to just be open about this.
Mm.
But like
Mhm.
you gotta work on like the what's triggering you to not want to take that step. Like actually
Yeah.
like speaking it out loud and like I love journaling. Sometimes journaling is a form of
Mm.
release. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah,
you need to kind of
absolutely.
work through those processes because once you are visible, there are
Mm.
a lot of eyes on you that comes with
Yeah.
judgment comes with feedback, and you have to be
Mhm.
able to receive that, you
And be
know?
okay with
So,
it.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. So I always
Yeah.
talk people through it, but I mean, I'm a huge advocate for therapy and all the things, like, take
Yeah.
care of you, and that's where, like, you can grow because you help other people the more open you can be. So
I love that because it seems to me like when someone works with you, there's the transformation you're trying to help them achieve is like both professionally and personally as well, right?
100%.
Yeah, that's right.
100%.
That's great. So as you know, Jackie, this is a podcast about women in entrepreneurship, women in leadership positions, women in creative spaces. Let's talk a little bit about, your experience as a woman founder. Um, Different, you think, than other founders, both, gender, male, female? I know every founder's story is unique, but I would love to hear a little bit about sort of, your experience as a woman founder in media and PR, I guess, specifically.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think first of all, I started my business young.
Mm,
So, like, I think there was a lot of judgment on
yeah.
taking me seriously
Right. They're like,
at
oh,
a young
she's so
age.
young. She doesn't,
A
mustn't know her
hundred
stuff. Yeah.
100%. So I think when I started out, there was a lot of judgment around that, and there was a lot of
Mm,
insecurity around that.
hmm.
Now I've been doing my business for 11 years, so
Right.
now I totally see it from a different side, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
I think it's okay to feel insecure as you're building because you're
Yeah.
learning as you go. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, you
Hmm.
almost have to face clients that aren't great sometimes. You almost have to face it's just the facts. Like,
Yeah.
you have to learn as you go. Like, I think what's the term that I'm looking for? When you start, like, you feel like you have to help everyone to
Right.
get income. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I think that I learned that, unfortunately, like, young, but, like,
Mm,
when I first started my business, like, I was threatened to be sued. I had to get trademarked really young, and I didn't
yeah.
know anything about
So
trademark,
you're, like,
like,
diving in and learning that on your own. Yeah.
100%, but I think that
Yeah.
that's the only way, like, to receive feedback and grow a model. Like,
Mm,
can you withstand exactly what we were talking about with visibility? Like, can you
mm,
withstand the judgment and feedback you're gonna come at and
right.
face as you grow? So I think that those have been big hurdles that have been big teaching moments.
And you've been able to maintain your resilience through that process? Is it because of some of the personal work you do? Is that how you maintain?
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a founder not that long ago who, is in the women's apparel space and had to teach herself everything about, shipping and fulfillment and merchandising and she's like, "Thank God for YouTube," right? Like, but that just shows me, like, the grittiness around, like, I don't know, like you said, I didn't know how to do trademarking, but I had to learn it. This woman was like, "All of a sudden, I'm selling my clothes, but I don't have a distribution channel set up to actually put these in people's hands." So I had to go learn that, right? So that's a very real thing, isn't it? I do think it's probably even more so in the pressures that you as a young entrepreneur faced.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
too, in my world, because it is so visible, there's a lot of, like, scrutiny too. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, like, "You get it done or we
Mm,
see you later." Like, that's just
yeah.
what it is, and you have to
Yeah.
withstand that, you know? I have a lot of kids I've mentored over the years,
Mm,
and I feel like because I've learned so tough, I try to be nicer with them, but,
yeah.
like, naturally, we all make mistakes, you know what I'm
Of course.
saying? So, like,
Of
they
course.
do need, like, professional feedback of, like, "You can't do that." Like, you just
Yeah.
can't do that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think that
Yeah.
it's been a learning curve on both
Yeah.
sides, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I get that, yeah. Do you think there are things that women entrepreneurs aren't talking enough about that they should be talking about more?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
there like I said earlier, I think there's just a lot of insecurities of going off on your own business,
Mhm. Yeah.
feeling confident to do that,
Mhm.
and what am I putting out there about myself and how is it gonna land? Because I
Yeah.
think that there's a lot of judgment with that, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, yeah,
So
there is a lot of judgment and in your confidence and your insecurities but also wanting to be a leader. I also had a conversation with an entrepreneur just yesterday, and she's like, "I don't know how to be a leader," right? She's like, "I have all of the technical knowledge I need to build my thing, but how do I get people to line up behind me or beside me and be energized and buy into what I'm doing," right? Maybe this is a perfect client for you, actually. We should probably do an introduction. Um
yeah.
'Cause I think that's the missing piece, right? A lot of
For
times.
sure, for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
But I think you're right, like, having,
Yeah.
like, allies and people who
Mm.
understand you is
Yeah.
so important, like, safe space, you know?
Yeah. Totally, totally. You got some pretty impressive logos on your website. Some people that you've done really cool collaborations with, partners that you have, customers of yours. but you still live in a very competitive space, right? There's a lot of people in this creative space. There's a lot of people in the personal branding and sort of, media and public relations space that you're in. What's your sort of approach to your competition, Jackie?
So relationships are everything to me. So when I do outreach as a publicist for
Yeah.
clients, I don't blast thousands of media people.
Okay.
I really do my research and build
Mm.
relationships with the journalists, with the reporters,
Mhm.
and I really, like, think genuinely, like, this is fit for what you cover. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, like
Yeah.
and I found time and time over, like, it's worked. So, like,
Mhm.
instead of just blasting people, really build relationships with people that you genuinely actually care about. Like,
Right.
I think that that's part of it too. Like, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'll do this for you," and then it's so backhanded. Like,
Right.
I really try to come from a genuine place. So
Yeah. And I'm gonna double down on the g on the, genuineness for a second because and you probably know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna bring up the acronym that everybody brings up, right? The AI acronym, right?
yeah,
And now all of a sudden, we see this massive evolution in media taking place with people using AI to do so much, right? And I feel like, gosh, you're gonna lose so much of that genuineness, right? And that authenticity, I guess, is a word we use a lot as well. Are you seeing that? And I'm sure you're yeah, yeah. How are you
tons.
kind of reacting to
So
that?
I actually love AI too.
Of
So
course,
I'm
it's
more
great.
like
Oh, it's great. Yeah, don't get me
100%.
wrong. Yeah.
'Cause I'm such a strategist person, and I've never been a good copy person. So, like,
Mhm.
I would say, especially for press releases, at least for draft purposes, so
Mm,
it sounds professional, I would utilize AI, at least for a
yeah.
draft round. It needs
Sure.
edits, it needs
Sure.
personalization, but I always tell everyone, I'm like, "Utilize it for those reasons, at least to, like, baseline it." You know what
Me
I'm
too.
saying? So,
Yep.
I think, though, because I also do have a magazine and I get pitched for my podcast too, like, I see a lot of copy and paste things, I'm sure you do too, Richard,
Oh,
all
sure.
the time,
Yep.
like and I know it's AI. I see all the dashes. I
Yep.
see all the impersonalization,
Those
you
M
know, like
dashes are a dead giveaway.
100%. So I know from both sides now, like, what people are actually gonna receive and what's the red flag that they're not even gonna pay attention to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
personalization, that's something that AI can't take away from a person, you
Sure.
know?
Sure, absolutely.
So
I saw a big fight that people got into on the internet the other day because someone used AI for their headshot, right? And
I've
it
seen those.
looked and you see you could tell, right? And some of them were nice but then the argument started like, well, why are why don't you hire a photographer, give the photographer the business that he or she might need and instead of doing this and it just started this firestorm of like controversy going back and forth between these folks. So I think we're going to still see a lot of questioning around that, but for like the students I work with here at the university, I tell them the same thing as you, Jackie. I say, look, use it for your preliminary research. Use it to baseline, right? But you've got to personalize it. You've got to jump off from there. You can't just take this and say, "Oh, now I understand my business model because AI told me what my business model is." Right?
100%. And also
um,
too, just to follow one thought too,
please, yeah,
less is more when you're
yes,
pitching because
yes,
they get so many
yeah,
things in their email. They
yeah.
only have, like, 5 seconds of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I always say exactly what I said, bullet point them. Bullet
Bullet
point
point.
them, summarize it. Why is it relevant? What have they
Mm,
covered recently? Like, those are key things that they're actually gonna care about and read
yeah.
after the personalization, you know?
Yeah,
So
very true. Yeah. You mentioned obviously your podcast, your magazine, what you're doing with your website, Next on Scene Media. Have you seen different types of people approaching you? Has that started to change over the last few years, or is it kind of the same types of folks and organizations approaching? I'm curious if there's been like an evolution there or not, like different
that's
industries or
great.
anything.
Great question. So I think there's part of my business that helps the startup small business that is just starting out.
Yep.
I love those people because I was there in my own
Right.
way. So
Right.
like I do have things and people that come across my desk at that. I do feel like my magazine specific really
Yeah.
targets a lot of celebrity clientele now. Like
Sure.
I think because they have so many ventures, they as a celebrity or an influencer now, you need
Right.
more than just being a celebrity and an influencer.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
many of them now
Mhm.
have businesses, they're doing other projects, you know, so they're looking for PR for that all the
Mhm.
time. So I do
Mm.
feel like 'cause I've been doing it now for a while that I'm getting more leads in that arena, which
Yeah.
has been amazing. Um But yeah, I would definitely say, like, the clientele over time has changed because I have kids now, like, I can't
Yeah.
commit the same way I used to. I
Sure.
like, I really give my all to clients, less is more to me, like, I'd rather have
Yeah.
2 or 3 top tier clients that I do everything for rather than 50, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of yes, so to answer your question, I would say yes, it's definitely over
Yeah.
50 years.
I love what you just said too about the celebrities recognizing like their authenticity needs to come through because like I think about my daughter, she's 24, so she's right in that Gen Z population, right? She's right in that wheelhouse of she consumes a lot of celebrity content. She buys a lot of celebrity products, but she can spot someone being inauthentic a mile away, right? And as soon as you've broken her trust from your product perspective, she's done. And all her friends are the
100%.
same way, right? They won't go back. But if they trust, they'll keep buying that product or they feel that product is authentic, they'll keep because they want those connections,
For
right?
sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. You just mentioned an interesting thing too about, you're a mom, and I love that, by the way. Happy belated Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Um, you got boundaries now, right? And not maybe you had them before, but now you got boundaries. Um, we don't have unlimited energy, neither you nor I. There's sustainability that you need to do. Let's talk about the human side. How do you manage when you're growing and leading this company? I don't call it work-life balance because I don't think that exists. I call it
Totally.
blending, right? You're blending
Well
all the
said,
time.
well
Yeah.
said.
Tell me your secret, Jackie. How do you handle it?
So one thing that I've totally done since having kids now is I block off my, like, meeting schedules for
Mhm.
when I pick up the kids from school or when I
Mm,
take them to school in the morning, like, I am unreachable, my phone is off, I
yeah.
will not read my emails, like, I think that's
Yeah.
been very big for me because
That's
prior to
huge.
kids, I'm constantly responding
That's
quickly,
huge.
like, huge, yes. So that for me has been huge. I also
Mm,
have support, I'm grateful that I have a nanny, my family's not
mhm.
local, so,
Yep.
like, I was able to get
Yeah,
help.
they're in New York. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's been a gift too, like, so
mm,
I would s but it took a while to
yeah,
find a great nanny, like, there comes a lot
yeah.
of interviewing processes, and it's really
These are your
stressful,
kids,
you
you're
know?
not gonna trust them with anybody.
100%. So I
Yeah,
think that those have been 2 things that I feel like
yeah,
have been really solid for me to
yeah. Have you had moments where you've been like, "Oh god, like, I'm gonna go get a full-time job, I'm just or a part-time job," or
100%,
yeah.
100%, but nothing will ever take away, like, the flexibility of being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I can't just leave my 9 to 5 and get my kids at school all the time.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I see parents all the time in that space, and I get it. I
yeah,
totally get it. So, like, I
yeah.
am grateful that I have that flexibility.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. How do you stay connected, I guess, with the rapid growth that's happening in your industry right now? I mean, is it just 'cause that to me is part of like how do you if you blend everything, you need time to sit and do research and look at what's going on in your industry, and your industry is like constantly moving. So
Right.
where do you find the time to do that? Do you also just bake that into your schedule, I guess?
So, I would say I love to, like, learn from firsthand experience. Like,
Ah,
that's kind of
okay.
how
Makes a
I've
lot of
learned the
sense.
best over years, like,
Yeah.
things happen in my life, and I'm like, "Okay, now I actually, like, need to learn this," you
Yeah.
know? Like, I think there are things that like, I do read, like I scroll on social media and TikTok, like, I'm up with the news there, you know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
for
Like,
sure. Yeah, the
I'm not
latest and
actually on
greatest.
a
Yeah,
regular basis, though, like, reading the news. I follow my
yeah,
reporters, they give me the news on social media, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I get it.
So, like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's it's this is just the way of the world, that's where it's going, you know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
absolutely. Well, I do appreciate what you just said too, like, you learn by doing, right? Like,
Uh-huh,
that is a very entrepreneurial mindset, and that sort of hands-on approach of like, "Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do a lot of research, I'm just gonna learn by doing." Like, again, me mentioning the apparel women's apparel entrepreneur, like, she had to learn by doing, right? She had to learn how do I get my clothes into someone's closet?
right,
Like, I get
right.
and she had to figure that out on her own. As you kinda, drive through the back half of this I can't believe we're talking about this, but we're kinda heading into the back half of this year almost, right? I mean, here we are in May. Before we know it, it's gonna be September, December. Where are you driving right now, Jackie? What are some of the fun, exciting things that you're working on, now, into the rest of the year? I guess kinda what's next?
Yeah, so I'm working on my next magazine that's gonna be out in June. So
Cool.
I try to do one once a year.
Nice.
It's just my
Can't wait.
mom, my friend who's a graphic designer, and it's the 3 of us. My mom, my friend who's a graphic designer, and I. We've been doing it for 11 years this year.
Amazing.
So yeah, really exciting. So we're working on that. I have a goal, being that I have kids, it's not a tomorrow goal, but a bigger goal is like I want a space where I can host like people doing their podcasts,
Oh, very cool.
like
Yeah.
events,
Yep. Yep.
workshops, like um I want a space where I can help do productions because I love
Right.
producing, like, commercials and, like, content and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So I just am working right now with grant writers and things like that, and
Oh,
I
very
think
cool.
I'm trying to figure out, like, probably the next 2 years, I wanna, like, work
Mm. Yeah, I think that would be outstanding for you to have, like you said, specialized space and be able to host events and or workshops or retreats. Like I can see all of that. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, so
that's really
that's
really
my
cool.
big
Yeah,
goal. That's the goal
yeah,
that I have.
yeah. From a legacy standpoint, maybe you don't think about this yet. Somebody challenged me on this the other day. They're like, "Richard, what legacy do you want to leave behind?" And I was like, "Ah." But have you thought a little bit about that? Like what, what you hope Next on Scene Media kind of leaves
Totally. No,
behind?
I
Yeah.
love this
Oh,
question, and I'm so glad because I think that's really impactful to make you
yeah.
think bigger, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, I feel like there's not a lot of there's the Globe, there's, like, well-known media companies here, but in terms of national media, there's not a lot of national media
I would
in
agree with that.
Boston. So,
Yeah.
one of my goals is to create a national media company that gets people to
Mm.
come into Boston and
Nice.
experience media, you know? Like,
Nice.
so
Nice.
that's kind of a goal that I have.
What about, the magazine? Do you wanna get it is the idea that maybe it's acquired someday by, like, a Condé Nast or something like that? Or have you thought through that? Or it doesn't sound like you wanna give up control.
These are great questions. Like, I've been doing it
Mm.
for so long. It started as a passion project, originally just for
Yeah.
my clients,
Mhm.
and it has outgrown, like, on international, like, all the things. Um, I think I really wanna be in planes, like, private jets. Like, I wanna be that,
Mm.
like, I wanna be an intimate, like, more
Yeah.
luxury
I
type of
love
magazine.
that analogy that you just made. Yeah, yeah. That's so cool.
Because people don't read tangible magazines anymore.
Right.
On a flight, you're
Right.
forced to read it. There's
Right.
nothing else to do, you
Yeah.
know? So I feel like that's, like, one of the goals that I have with it, so,
That's so cool. I love that.
yeah.
Um let's pretend for a moment I am that 20-year-old, 22-year-old. I've just kinda maybe come out of college. I'm like, "Hey, I think I have something meaningful to share to the world, Jackie." What's the first piece of advice you give me?
You can create something from nothing.
Mm,
I
mhm,
really believe that.
mhm, mhm. And if I say to you, I'm afraid to be seen," what would you say to me?
You gotta work on the internal work,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Gotta do that. Yeah.
whatever fears you gotta work through, like, it's okay to face them. Like, it doesn't
Mm.
have to be
Yeah.
scary. It's okay to face it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way, like, when again, I'll go back to this person I was talking to just yesterday who said, "I don't think I have the leadership capabilities to run my own business," right? I need I know I have the technical know-how, and I know I can build this amazing product, and that could turn into a sustainable company, but I don't feel like I have the leadership to get people to wanna line up behind me, and that kinda broke my heart a little bit, right, you know? And I said, "Okay, like, we gotta learn a lot more about yourself because I bet you are way more of a leader than you think you are," right?
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
But to your
It's not
point, like, they need people like you in their corner because, like,
right.
it really like, when you don't have people who don't understand, it's kinda, like, defeating, you know?
Absolutely. Who's in your corner?
My husband, big
Nice.
supporter.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
team, and that's
You said
really been a
it's your
gift.
mom, you've got your graphic designer, you've got
Yeah,
other
but even
folks.
just
Yeah.
my day-to-day, like, I have an admin, like, I have,
Yeah.
like, a team that helps me with my work on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, yeah, I checked out your team on your website, like, you've got a lot of cool people, it seems, that work with you, and
Thank you.
across all parts of your business, right?
Mhm.
Which is exciting. In terms of the people I think, one of the things I was, very, intrigued about, right, when I first met you was you do work with a lot of celebrities, so people, like, constantly asking, like, "What's it like to work with celebrities?" Or is it something that you're just, like, so familiar with now it doesn't even phase you?
It's just, they're just real people. Like, they
Yeah.
just wanna be treated like real people. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I don't know, like, a month or 2 ago, I interviewed Cedric the Entertainer, and he was even, like, taken back that I was just so, like
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
because people just get starstruck over things
Sure.
like that. And it's normal. Like I've seen all the things, but like they just want to be treated like real people, you
Because
know?
they are, right? At the end
A
of the
hundred
day,
percent.
they are real people.
100%. And
Yeah,
they
they're
they
not
laugh and talk about things exactly like you and I are talking about. You know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. The other thing I did wanna ask you about is you have these really cool vendor partnerships. Tell us a little bit more about those. How do you look
yeah.
for the types of vendors you wanna work with? I'm sure you have a high bar, so I'm curious as to how those
Yeah,
come
no,
together.
thank you for asking about that. So,
Yeah.
this is where I help the startup really start up small business.
Yeah.
So, basically, they have a business. It's very new, probably
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
1 to 5 years old, and they're looking to just promote what they do. They don't have a
Right.
big budget. They're looking to just
Right.
get the word out about what they do. So, I
Yep.
wanted to create an offer that I could help really small businesses share their offers. Promote what they're doing to their audiences. I've been doing this on and off since
Mhm.
COVID because
Oh
once
my.
everything went so virtual, I was like, "Well,
Right.
I have the audience, like, I'll promote you,"
Mhm.
So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
kinda how
Yep.
that came about.
I love that. That's great.
Thank you.
Um, as you think about, the name of this podcast, right, is meeting you where you're at. Where are we meeting you at right now, Jackie?
Yeah, so I loved when you asked earlier, Richard, about, like, personal brand versus the
Yeah.
business. So, like, I feel like I'm really starting to fully separate them. Like, I feel like I'm really leaning in more to, like, Jackie's a consulting, Blueprints is just its own entity now, and
Yeah,
Next on
nice.
Scene is, like, the podcast, the magazine, the events, like, it's just they're becoming more separate. So I think
Yeah,
that that's what I'm leaning into right now.
I love that, I love that. So I know we can find you nextonscene.com, is
It's
that right?
perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
and, Instagram handle also next on scene.
Perfect.
And, Jackie, thank you so much for being here
Richard, thank
today.
you so much. Wait, can I
Covering
ask you a question?
You can ask me whatever you want.
What was the impact that you wanna make on the world?
Oh, God, see, again, I'm trying to think about this, right? So I think the big thing for me is I never felt like I had a mentor, and I went out and I tried to become the mentor that I never had, right? So I would like someone someday to say, like, "I had this great mentor. His name was Richard, and this is what he taught me." So
I love
I
that.
think that's what I'm leaning towards right now, Jackie. But
That's amazing.
thank you
I
for
love
asking me a question. I
Of
appreciate it
course.
so much. Jackie Zuckerman Delory, right? I
Well,
say that
Delory,
right?
you said it perfect the first time.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. I wanna make it right. Next on Scene Media, nextonscene.com, and we'll look forward to staying in touch. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Richard.
Talk soon.